Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United transfer news on June the 30th. And I suppose as we talk about Antony, Jong, Martinez, even Ronaldo and much more, the big question this morning is to be or not to be. No, we're not going to do Romeo and Juliet. We're not doing Shakespeare. But rest in peace, Shakespeare. You wrote some good books, much better than Andy McNabb. But the reality is, today is June the 30th. If we do not get a here we go or a deal done today, Manchester United will have gone through the month of June with no signings and no sales. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Manchester United could go through June without no signings and no sales. Now, that actually may not be a big issue for you. I don't know whether it is for... It is a big issue for me, actually. Because we could go and buy 5 players in July and August. And we could go and sell 6 players in July and August. But I do think in the world of a new Manchester United, it's a new Manchester United. We've got a new CEO, we've got a new director of football, we've got a new manager. Everything's new. No, it's not. You've not done anything in June. And I think in the world of something new, then I expect to see something new. And we haven't got anything new at the moment. And that's where we are. Now, we could get a here we go today. We could get a here we go today. We could get it on Malacia. We could get it on Jong. It could happen. But what I would say about Manchester United in fairness is, and they've been very, very eager to put this out, is that they're not interested in signing people to spin the dividends. They're not interested in signing people to get it done early in June. For them, it's about doing it at their pace. And as long as they get to where they want to get, they're happy with that. So look, you know, let's see what it is they want to get, as I've said before. So look, let's get into the show. We're going to talk about a little bit about Jong, mainly about Antony, a little bit about Ronaldo as well, more about Martinez and some other bits as well. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you smash a like on the video as usual. So let's start off with a very quick update on Jong. So last night on the show, towards the end of the show, we had Plea Goal Twitter saying that expected to be in Manchester doing his medical this weekend. There's no reason to disagree with that. I'm sure that probably is the case. The issue with Jong and the issue with this whole deal, and I think people are starting to wake up to what we were talking about last week, is that this has not been 2 months of negotiations. This has been 2 months of waiting on Barcelona, and we're still waiting on Barcelona. It is now Thursday. At the start of the week, we were like, we've got to really move this deal forward by the 30th of June. It's the 30th of June today, and he's still not deal done to Manchester United. We've had fee agreed, and I believe that fee is agreed, but the add-ons, I don't know whether they're agreed yet. And actually, welcome to the Members Club, James. I think in relation to Jong, I don't take any notice about add-ons. I don't take any notice about personal terms because they were sorted ages ago. They were sorted at the weekend. I don't take much notice about the fee. I think the fee is sorted. I think everything is sorted with Jong. I think it's always been relatively quick to sort this deal with Jong because Barcelona want to sell and we want to buy. Why has it taken 2 months? Because Barcelona are holding up the entire transfer window. Like Rafinha won't make his mind up in case he can go to Barcelona instead of Chelsea. Lewandowski can't go to Barcelona. Bernardo Silva can't go to Barcelona. Koundé can't go to Barcelona. We can't get Jong out of Barcelona. Longley won't go on loan to Spurs yet. Barcelona won't press the button on anything at the moment because I think they're still trying to figure out their financial situation and can they get a player in before they sell a player? So as soon as Barcelona press the button, I think a lot of things will happen. And that might be today, it might be tomorrow, it might be early next week, it might be over the weekend. But this has always been delayed by Barcelona. Barcelona are basically holding up a massive part of the entire transfer window as they try to sort out what are very serious financial issues. So let's see how this pans out. I certainly do not disagree that we could be doing a medical for Frenkie de Jong at the weekend with him training Monday or Tuesday and then out on the tour at the end of next week. But I think United are ready to go with Jong. What's they call it? The marketing material and all that will be worked on, been worked on. That's ready to press the button on. And I just think we're just waiting on Barcelona. Welcome to the Members Club, Chunky. And Antony to United out of 10. I was just asked by AJ. I remained 8. I'll talk about that now. Arrest, welcome to the Members Club. So Antony transfer plea, let's talk about this. So more stories this morning. I think one of them was from ESPN saying that Antony really wants Ajax to listen to offers for him. The situation with Antony is, and we were well briefed on this ahead of the UK press. If you go back, I think it was 3 weeks ago today, I did a video saying that there's been a couple of stories about Antony to Man United in Brazil. Expect them to hit the UK press very soon because it's true. 3 or 4 days later, it hit the UK press because it is true. Antony wants to come to Manchester United. Eric TenHoog wants Antony. Ajax don't really want to sell him because they've sold half their team. But he has told Ajax time and time again that he wants the club to be open to selling him. He's not saying sell me for 30 million, but what he is saying to them is, look, I want to go. I'm respectful, but don't just close the door to offers. And people would say, well, how does this work? How can a player basically say to Ajax, listen to offers? Why doesn't he hand a transfer request in? Because it's a polite way of doing it. I think what Antony is saying to Ajax is, look, there's clubs that are interested in me, Manchester United, and that was the most Alan Partridge opening to a podcast ever. Andy McNabb says, Isaac. I hope you enjoyed that. I think that with regards to Antony, what he's saying is, look, I want to go. I'm respectful. And maybe I do stay next season, but don't just say you're not listening to any offers, because that's the thing. It doesn't mean he's definitely going to go, but like if I'm Antony and you're Ajax and Man United say we want to make an offer and you just go shut up, I'm not taking any offers. As a player, I'm going, so I'm not up for sale under no circumstances. Well, I'm not happy about that. At least listen to the offer. He's just politely trying to find his way out of the club, basically. And the reason I think that this deal will happen is there's numerous reasons for it. Who are the top 3 available strikers, says Vinny. We're not actually going for a striker, Vinny. I don't know whether you not realise that, but we're not actually going for a striker. I can talk to you about who the backups are to Antony in a minute. Are we only spending 120 million because we are saving funds for Rice next summer, says Adam. Don't. Adam, don't. You can't save money for next summer when you're Manchester United. We're Manchester United. We don't save money for the next summer. Have you seen what the Glazers take out? The budget is what the Glazers want to spend. It's got nothing to do with saving money for next year. So with Antony, effectively, I think it will happen because he wants to go. We want to buy him. I think the negotiations will take some time with Antony. I said this yesterday. Don't expect Antony done deal any time before the end of July. I think it will run and run and run throughout July. I think we'll negotiate throughout July, because he can't play for Ajax and he can't play for us because he's injured till the end of July. So it's not a deal where United are going to get him in because then they've got to pay his wages while he's injured. So I think we will negotiate with Ajax for a long time over Antony. But the big thing for me, and I spoke to a very good Ajax source about this about a month ago about Antony, and they agreed with this. We were talking about the situation with Antony, and they basically said to me, out of everybody we're going to sell, so actually it was probably about 6 weeks ago because it was before they'd sold anybody really. They said, out of anybody we're going to sell, Antony is the most likely player that you will get, because we did this with David Neres where we kept him for another year and his price plummeted. We should have sold him at his peak price. Well, this is Antony's peak price. And the reason I say that, well, people say, well, he's 22, he can still have a good season. Yes, next season, yes, he can. But he's just come off a very good season for Ajax under TenHoog in a stable team that did well in the Champions League and won Eredivisie. Next season, that is a transitional season for Ajax. Half the team is gone. It's a new manager. PSV will probably challenge them again. It's a transitional year. If Antony's value this summer is 50 million because he's just had a good season, in a transitional year next year, if he doesn't have such a good season, his price could drop to 35 million or 40 million. So actually, I think Ajax have always had the mentality that this is the summer to sell Antony and this is the summer to get the best price out of him. So I think it does suit Ajax. They just want a good price. It's definitely what Antony wants, and it's definitely what United want. And when you've got those 3 components, only United negotiators can mess it up. So I think we will do it. I just don't think it's a deal that's going to happen anytime soon, because he's injured, so it doesn't have to happen anytime soon. The argument that we need him on the tour, or the argument that we need him working with TenHoog and the United players, is somewhat redundant when he can't because he's injured. So I think we will get Antony. I just think it will take some time. It is important to get 6+ players this window, but we also need to hire good scouts, because then what we will do next season, says Madav. I think you're right, and I think all that will start to happen next season. Red Devils marching on, says Barca are delaying until tomorrow. Any deal done before today, a certain percentage has to be reinvested this year due to a La Liga rules, whereas from tomorrow I think it gives them extra year to invest, says Red Devils. You might be onto something there. I don't know. Thanks for the members videos, Mark. Great insights. Jones plus Bay equals money. Can get us a Martinez or Timber or Antony from Ajax. They get backup, we get our men, says Mayrish. And just imagine if United bought a CDM in the winter transfer window. Things could be a lot different, says Mikhail. And Joshua Bowwater says, do we know what Antony's injury is? It could be risky going for him without seeing if there's any lasting effects of it, says Joshua. I don't think it's anything particularly serious, Joshua. I just think it's gone on a little bit longer than we thought. If anyone knows exactly what the injury was, I do remember, but I don't want to guess at something I'm not actually recalling. For some reason, I think it was a calf injury, but I might be completely wrong on that. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Antony. I think a little bit of patience. I do want to talk about Ronaldo. There was another story coming out from this guy. I can't remember what it is. Is it Manu Sains or someone like that? Who's pretty close to Ronaldo, some people think. He's saying there's a 60% chance that Ronaldo is going to leave and that he wants to leave. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I want to go on to Lisandro Martinez first. In relation to Lisandro Martinez, let me just say that we've had a bit of an update coming in from... it was an ankle injury, sorry. Yeah, a lot of people saying it was an ankle injury. Hope we sign someone today, says Jar. It wasn't an ACL, Dada. You're talking out your arse there. It wasn't an ACL. Somebody just said, why would we want... Sorry, just got to say... somebody just said we got that there. No, there's no news. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Love your streams, Mark. Any chance of United scouting that cat that scared you the other day, says Tom Cruise. Great finishing skills, definitely. So yeah, I mean, in relation to backup options for Antony, I don't really feel like there are any. I don't really want to talk about any either, because this is a player that TenHoog knows like the back of his hand, and I think it'd be very important for Manchester United in relation to his ability to put crosses into the box. I mean, Gnabry's been mentioned. I think that's very tentative. Yeah, I don't really think there are many... I don't really think there are many backup options to Antony. There's a gaping hole in our midfield, yet we're looking to buy another winger. Why aren't we prioritising our biggest problems, says Anurag? Well, but I actually agree. I agree with the purchase of Antony, because I think you've got to look at the team in a logical construction way, and I completely agree that the priority signing for United should be a more defensive-minded midfielder. I think many people agree with that, but we're also crying out for a right winger, and we're crying out for a right winger who's got a left foot, who can play inverted. We have got no decent left winger that's, you know, anywhere near the first team. I know people say Ahmad, but Ahmad had a terrible loan at Rangers, and it's not realistic that he's going to drop into this Premier League side and play 50 games next season. So we need somebody who's left-footed. And even if you did use Ahmad, you still need another left-footer. So that's why I think that he is a really high priority signing for Erik ten Hag on that. Just very quick, Ziyech's interesting. I must admit Ziyech is interesting, but I don't think we'd go for Ziyech, because Ziyech's like coming towards the end of his career, whereas Antony's a player that's looking to take that step up. And I don't want to talk about Rangnick, but Rangnick spoke about this quite well, where he said, look, you know, it's better to go for players that are ready to take that step up, going for their second or third contracts in their career, rather than ones that are going for their fourth and fifth. And I think Ziyech is a player that's coming towards the end of his career, where Antony's looking to make that step up and there's more hunger there. Ryan says, the De Jong deal looks broken. The player is holding firm by holding all the cards. Barca seem out of ideas to get rid of him. No, that's not what's happening at all, Ryan. This is just timing. As somebody said there, it might be because Barcelona want to wait till tomorrow to announce it. Whatever's going on with De Jong, it's the same as what's always been going on with De Jong. It's Barcelona basically just waiting to do this deal and holding up the transfer window for everybody. Mark, is there anything you think deserve another chance next season at this club, says Damon? It's not for me to decide who deserves a second chance. I'm just very firm that not everybody deserves a second chance. And in fact, before we talk about Lisandro Martinez, let me just show you something. In relation to Ronaldo, there is another story coming out last night, and I take it with a pinch of salt that there's a 60% chance that he'll leave and that he wants to leave. Can I just say this? I showed you this last night. If Cristiano Ronaldo wants to leave Manchester United, it's because of that. That's why he wants to leave. Because that is the team that's going to start next season if we sign Frenkie de Jong. And there's only one new player in it. That'll be I've took Ronaldo out of it. Obviously, Ronaldo would be up front. There's only 10 players there. But if that will be the reason Ronaldo leaves. And if Ronaldo leaves, shame on the Glazers and shame on Manchester United. I'm fully behind Erik Ten Hag. I don't know why people think I'm not. I championed Erik Ten Hag way before anybody else, really, apart from a lot of fans. I championed him against the club. I championed him against ex-players. I want Erik Ten Hag. He's not even managed the game yet. This is nothing to do with the fucking manager. This is to do with the club. And I think people are thick because they think when you criticise everyone getting a second chance that they think you're criticising Erik Ten Hag. Erik Ten Hag's a manager. He's a pawn in a game of chess. The club dictates to Erik Ten Hag who he can sign. I'm fully aware if there are stories coming out that Erik Ten Hag has told everyone that they've got a second chance, and Erik Ten Hag has said it's about using the players that he's got more than signings. That is a party line. It's a political broadcast that he, like Ollie, like every other fucking manager, has had to put out there because it's probably in their contract. And I don't want Ten Hag to be that manager. I don't want that. But he's from the Eredivisie. He doesn't know how Man United use managers. So my concern is that I'm 100% behind Erik Ten Hag and I really do want him to succeed, but I'm also very aware how the Glazers work, and what they love to do is get a manager on a contract tied down where they have to be positive about everything that's going on and they can't say anything negative. And if you do, you're out, which is why Ranić went. And if Ronaldo leaves, Ronaldo will leave because of that, because he won't want to start next season with 10 players that actually started last year. And that is why Ronaldo will leave. And I would argue with any view, can you blame Ronaldo for wanting to leave if he comes back and only sees Frenkie de Jong as a new starter? Yeah, Malacia, will he take Luke Shaw's place? It's up for debate. It's not definite that he will. Lisandro Martinez, will he dislodge Maguire or Varane? Maybe he won't. Antony won't be ready for the start of the season. Eriksen, where will Eriksen start? So you can understand why Ronaldo may leave this club, but have no doubts. If Ronaldo leaves this club, it's because of that. And it's because of the Glazers. Because he will go, I'm one of the greatest players that's ever played this game. I've wasted a season last year. I scored a lot of goals in a very bad side, but I wasted a season on lies and false promises. I can't do it again. This could be my last season playing at the top level. I can't afford another season like last season. And look, I'm sorry, look at the team you've constructed for next year. With all due respect, Eric, I think you're a really exciting coach, but at my stage of my career, I cannot go into a season with one player added to that shit from last year. And I think Ronaldo stays. I've heard things about Ronaldo's committed to commercial things, and while he's in Australia, there's contracts signed with brands and all sorts of stuff like that. I don't know whether that's true or not. I think Ronaldo will stay. But if Ronaldo does go, or Ronaldo does want to leave, let's call it as it is. If Ronaldo goes, or he wants to go, it's because of the lack of ambition at this football club. And Erik Ten Hag is a great manager. I really believe that. I want him to do well. But people need to separate the two. You can criticise Manchester United's squad and you can criticise Manchester United's ambition and not criticise Erik Ten Hag. He is a pawn in a game of chess. He's not the CEO, he's not the director of football, he's not in charge of the budget, and he's not the owner. He's a manager coaching those players. What his contract said, nobody knows. Maybe the contract Erik Ten Hag signed was that you've got £100 million to spend and you've got to get more out of what you've got. Maybe he signed that contract. That's up to him. Maybe he's got £200 million to spend and he can sell whoever he wants. I don't know what his contract is. You don't know what his contract is. But as we sit here right now, it's the end of June. We've signed nobody, and that's where we're at with it. So, I thought I was taking you.
Oh, I didn't think you were.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay.
Mark, let's meet up for a beer when you come to Perth, says JD1. And, yeah, so look, I think that, with regards to Ronaldo, it's almost symbolic in a way. If we lose Ronaldo, we are losing our player of the year last year. We're losing our one player who, with De Gea, actually performed in a really bad side. And it's a damning indictment if he walks away, because he'd be walking away for a lot of the reasons that a lot of you get fed up with this club, because he doesn't see any ambition. Or to spin a complete and utter other positive, maybe the project's just too long for Ronaldo. Maybe he's like, well, look, I can see what you're doing, but it's not going to reap any benefits in the next year, is it? I can go to Bayern Munich or Chelsea or wherever and try and win the Champions League and try and win the league. I can't do that with you. So I think Ronaldo will stay, but I think the club have got to show more ambition than Frenkie de Jong. And I think we would all agree with that. And I think that it's going to be very interesting. But I do think it's really important to remove Erik Ten Hag from these conversations, because I think some people don't have the brain capacity to realise that when you see headlines like we discussed last night about everyone gets a second chance, and it's a challenging budget, and it's about what you do with the players that you've got more than it is about buying players, the red flag starts flying, the alarm bells start ringing, don't they? This sounds like another manager that's got to work with what he's got. That's not criticism of Ten Hag. That's not criticism of Ten Hag. That's fear that Ten Hag's going to be another Ollie or another Mourinho, where they are working with hands tied behind their back because of a crappy board and a crappy owners. So, either you've got a brain and you open it, or just don't get involved in the conversation. Because I tell you what, I'm not going to have these positive conversations where Ten Hag's in charge and everything about the club's great. I think everything about Ten Hag's great and exciting. I don't think the board's exciting. Don't think the owners are exciting. Don't think the current squad's exciting. Ten Hag may be able to work miracles. I hope he can. But we've seen time and time again, we've had good managers at this football club that fail because of how the club is run. And if he's been told he's got to work with what he's got and he's signed that contract, I really am praying for him, because I think he will fall on hard times in the next season, because I don't think those players are anywhere near good enough to compete with Liverpool and Man City, regardless of who the coach is. And I think Ronaldo knows that. And I think if we don't do big things in this transfer window, we may well lose Ronaldo, which would be very disappointing. As a defensive-minded midfielder, how do you think Frenkie de Jong adapts to the Premier League, says Rory? Well, he won't be playing as a defensive-minded midfielder, Rory, because we won't play with a defensive-minded midfielder. I really would suggest you go and watch some videos on the way that Ajax played under Erik Ten Hag. He doesn't ever play with a defensive midfielder. It's a midfield two, and it's a high line. And it's a midfield two that dictates the press. We don't play Matic, deep line, dropping in between the centre-backs, patrolling the back four as a lone CDM. That's not how he's going to play. He will have defensive responsibilities. He will take the ball off the back four, but he'll have another midfielder next to him who is supporting him, because we'll play with a midfield too. Anyway, let's talk about Lisandro Martinez. I mean, I feel like we've spoken about Lisandro Martinez so much. The situation, the last update I saw on Martinez was actually a tweet. It was Romano this morning. Some people said it wasn't much of an update, but effectively Arsenal are way more advanced on the Lisandro Martinez deal than we are, and we've basically asked to be kept informed. So reality is, United are working on Manchester United are working on a Finalisation of De Jong, finalisation of Malacia. That's what they're working on. Arsenal are working on Lisandro Martinez. It doesn't mean Arsenal are going to swoop in and get that deal done, because we've been asked to be kept informed, and we may. I mean, people think it's like it's a tactic. With Malacia, we weren't asked to be kept informed. We just quickly moved. Like, that deal could have been done with Leon 3 weeks ago. We quickly moved on that. With Lisandro Martinez, it sounds a little bit different, that we've actually said to Ajax, look, if you're thinking about accepting an offer, come to us and we'll tell you what we think. I don't think Arsenal can do this deal without Ajax telling us. And I think the only way Arsenal get this deal done, as I said last night, is if Man United decide one of two things. One, they don't want Lisandro Martinez, or two, they don't want to pay what Arsenal pay. And I think that will be United for United to decide. Could we offer a player plus cash for De Ligt, says TTV? I mean, De Ligt is going to leave. De Ligt's going to Chelsea by the sounds of it. But I was saying to Alex yesterday, he was on Twitter actually asking about it, and I said the reason we're not in for De Ligt is because he's out of our price range. We're looking for a centre-back around 30 to 40 million quid, which is why Timber and Martinez have been mentioned. I think that De Ligt is going to be around 60, which is probably too much for what Man United want to spend. And I know people would say, well, that's only 20 million, but you know what United are like. I firmly believe, I almost can't wait till the end of the transfer window to see what our spend is, because I don't think our spend is going to be any more than 120. I just get this vibe that this budget's not very big. Everything I keep hearing about this budget is that, you know, waiting to buy other players before we get De Jong. Why would you do that if you had a big budget? Like, why would you wait to see how much De Jong's going to cost before you buy anybody else? It feels like we're operating to a smaller budget than most of us expect, which is a disgrace. And yeah, I think that's going to be rather interesting. Morning, Mark. Any update on Tielemans? Hope Ronaldo gets the captaincy, says Mikael Roach. Nothing on Tielemans at the moment. I think Ronaldo has got to stay to get to the captaincy, of course. And of course, the second thing that concerns me about the transfer budget is how we keep hearing things like, this team's got so much potential, it finished second last year. Everyone's getting a second chance. It's about the players that we've got, not about new players. There's a lot of hints that we may not be having the summer transfer window we want to have. And I suppose we'll have to wait and see. Word out of Portugal is Ronaldo is going to be returning to Sporting Lisbon. I very much doubt he'll go to Sporting Lisbon. I think Ronaldo would like to go to Bayern Munich. I said that a couple of weeks ago. Kevin says, if De Ligt and Timber were the same price, which would you choose, Mark? Says Kevin. I really do like Timber, I've got to be honest. I really do like Timber. And I would like him to come to Manchester United. But I'd be gutted if Ronaldo went. Somebody just said there they'd be gutted. I'd be absolutely gutted. To me, Ronaldo is the symbol of the only positive out of last season. He went into that dressing room, he kicked some arse, he delivered week in, week out when others didn't, when others gave up. If he left the club to leave us with the giver-uppers, I'd be like, oh God, it's so disappointing. But I guess we'll wait and see what happens with that. Mark, why are United not in for Calvin, I don't know, Lloyd? I don't know. Can only talk about who we are in for. We're not looking for another striker anyway. So if Ronaldo left, I don't know. I think Ronaldo will stay. But I do think he's probably a little bit frustrated about the lack of activity so far. But I go back to what I said at the start. You know, will we get a Here We Go today? Maybe. Maybe we'll get Malacia. Maybe we'll get Eric. I mean, there's 3 deals that can happen very quickly. Eriksen, Malacia and De Jong. You know, we could go from no signings to 3 signings in a day. Easily. But I think we need more. You know, I didn't want to say it like that because it sounds really greedy, but I think we need more. I don't think a backup left back, Christian Eriksen and De Jong's amazing, but I think we need a lot more. Mark, news that De Jong might be in 5 instalments. Anything you've heard? Does it free up some funds if true? Says Jeffrey. No, I don't think it does, mate. I don't think United work like that. I don't think doing things in instalments means that we've got more of a budget. I might be wrong on that, but we'll have to see. Do you think is it possible for United to make a move for Timber in January? Keep up the good work. I don't really understand the centre-back situation. I know everyone's getting excited about Martinez, but he definitely wasn't one of the first two choices at centre-back. Now, maybe he wasn't a first-choice centre-back because, and I was thinking about this, maybe TenHoog was like, I want Timber or I want Torres, and we can go for Martinez next summer. Maybe he was thinking more long-term with Martinez, and then maybe Arsenal have gone in for him, and he's gone, actually, we should go and get him now. But he wasn't one of the first-choice centre-back options. It was Timber, and it was Pau Torres. I don't know why it's gone quiet on Pau Torres, and obviously we know it's gone quiet on Timber, but Dembele contract expires today. Take on a free, says Ivan. We won't get Dembele. I know we were linked in with Usman Dembele a couple of years ago, but we won't get Dembele because I think he wants Champions League football. He wants a lot of money. I think Dembele may well stay at Barcelona. I mean, I think we're in for a very busy sort of 24 hours, aren't we? Maybe. James says most deals are done in instalments. I really doubt it means we get more. Yeah, well, I suppose you're right there, James, because Lukaku to Inter Milan was, 70 million, but we didn't get 70 million in our pocket. We got, it was done in instalments. So there's different aspects to transfers, isn't there? There's instalments and there's add-ons. For example, Darwin Nunez to Liverpool is 80 million euros plus 20 million in add-ons. I doubt Liverpool have given Benfica 80 million euros straight up. That could be paid 10 million a month, could be 40 now and 40 next year. That's instalments. Add-ons are when they achieve things like Golden Boot and things. So it's not normal that a club buys a player and just gives them 80 million outright. Hi Mark, I feel that Frankie de Jong will be given Man United captaincy and the team will rebuild around him, says Lindsay. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, Lindsay, but I'd be very, very surprised. Maybe we're helping Ajax to push Arsenal, says Michael. We might be. I said that last night. Is Lisandro Martinez a trap? Are United actually in for Lisandro Martinez, or are we actually being used to boost Ajax fee for? We might have said to Ajax, we don't want Lisandro Martinez, but users to boost the price up for Arsenal, and that money you make on Arsenal, knock it off Anthony. Who knows in the world of football. Daniel Kirk's been a member for 13 months. He says, Mark, Manu signs, also said Ronaldo has offers from Bayern and Chelsea, which we know isn't true. Bayern said they don't want him. Your pinch of salt is correct, says Daniel. I don't know why Bayern don't want Ronaldo, by the way. I think if Lewandowski was leaving, Ronaldo would be perfect for a season, but apparently they don't want him. If, God forbid, Ronaldo did go, do you think Martial could step up? He can be brilliant, just no consistency. My fear, Tidy, about Anthony Martial is that, and I'll see it in the chat straight away, and I respect it, of course. Everyone's got an opinion, but I know how, I've been doing this for years, and I know how the chat works. There is people in that chat who just do not, admit it, put it in the chat now. There's people in the chat who just do not want Martial at this club. They've given up on him, they don't want him. And to be honest, the evidence is there as to why they might do that. There's people in the chat like me who, like Martial, feel disappointed by his last couple of years, but believe there's a player there. That's my fear with Martial, is that there's people like me that would be willing to give Martial another go and give him another chance. But there's also people in the fan base who, much the same as Pogba, just have given up on him. They don't want him at the club anymore. And that is the problem. So where's Martial's headspace at? Where's TenHoog's headspace at? If they decide they want to give it a go, that's great. But remember with Martial as well, I hate to say this, but it's true. Martial's treatment in the media is appalling. Now, obviously they all sound right now when they say he's got a bad attitude and this, that and the other. But they were on at Martial when he was having a good season at United with a bad attitude and all this, that and the other. So it's just, I would like to see Martial given a chance, but I also am fully aware of some of the issues he'd face. Kieran's been a member for 13 months. Thanks very much for that. But I would give him another chance because I'd almost treat it like a loan. I'd say to Martial, 1 year, we can't sell you this year. We'll sell you next year. Give us everything you've got. And you will be playing games. You will be starting games for Manchester United. Go and give us everything you've got. And then next year, if you play well, you'll get the move you want. But I can't get you the move you want now because you're on 250 grand a week and we want 30 million for you. And there's nobody going to pay us that. So the way we get you out of this club is that you actually perform for me over the next year. I'm not buying another striker. So you're the striker back up to Ronaldo. You will play because he can't play Thursday, Sunday. And I would do it that way. So that's what I would do. But I know a lot of people disagree with that. Anyway, look, thanks everyone for watching. Martial was disappointed in your career mode yesterday. Yeah, he was, Justin. But he had one good season. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. Just tuned in. Anything concrete happening soon. Sorry if you got to repeat stuff, says TG. I think we're on the verge of a here we go. We're on the verge of deal done with Malacia and De Jong and Eriksen, and they could happen any minute. And I think that's where we are with that. Martinez, I expect there to be some conclusion to that very, very soon. Other than that, that's quite a lot, isn't it? The trouble is we just don't know when. But with De Jong, we're waiting on Barcelona. With Malacia, that could happen any time. And Eriksen, we're waiting on a decision. Thanks, everybody watching. I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Take care. And just to OW7, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it, mate. Like, life's too short. Like he says, oh, it's just the same news as ever. It's a morning show where we talk about the news. If your brain can't work on that concept, go and listen to bloody TalkSport or go and watch bloody Philip and Fern or something like that and try read a book, read a bit of Shakespeare. But you know what? Some of us enjoy the chat about things that we're passionate about. So, you know, there's always that advice. Jog on if you don't like it. To those who do like it, thanks for joining us. Really enjoyed the chat as ever. I'll speak to you at 2 o'clock unless I speak to you before. Take care and we'll speak to you in a bit. Stay safe, everyone.